What's crabbing? Yeah, chilling like a villain. Yeah, it's 2015, man. We're not we're not in FEMA camp yet, man. And World War III hasn't broke out, and the Ebola zombie apocalypse hasn't transpired yet. So we're doing pretty good. You know what I mean? Yeah, man. My machine took a crap, man. So I've been ain't been able to make no videos. So I've been trying to look for some alternate means to keep my things coming in now. It's been crazy, man. Crazy times, man. I've just had a real string of bad luck, but it could be worse. I mean, it will be worse when the Terminators come. There's just so many false flags going on right now, and man trying to fuse with machines and spy grid technology, then putting up uh, those towers everywhere, man. Stingray towers and dust bots, nanoparticles, nano snow, nanobot snow, Morgellons disease, man. This chemtrails, man. I've been watching a bunch of stuff lately, man. Just, and, same old stuff, but just deeper understandings into the same, understandings you already have. It's always like the first time around the block. You know, you might remember the sidewalk, but two times around the block, man, you remember where the cracks and the potholes are at in the sidewalk, and then third time around the block, you're gonna start to recognize the trees. The fourth time, you start to recognize the houses and the cars that are in the driveways, and then you'll, etc., etc. So that's how this works. It's cycles, maturity, time. It's seeds don't grow overnight. This isn't Jack and the Beanstalk. Uh, it's seasonal, and every year, even in your own little personal understanding journey, you'll have, crops, but weeds grow up, amongst the good. You gotta separate the wheat from the chaff. As my buddy was just saying the other night, me and one of my other heavy conspiracy guys, we had a long, funny conversation. We understand each other. Thing about good friends is, you might not talk for extended periods of time, but you pick right up where you left off. It's almost like you never really parted company. So even though I've been sitting here chilling, man, a lot solo, a lot, I have my cuz around, but I'm noticing these days, like, look, between even me, since my machines broke, I was withdrawing, calling out to the sky for machine, machine. What am I gonna do without my machine? So I mean, it's just I've become so dependent already. I'm already partially, got they got their wires in me, man. Long range pimping status, because it's in my mind. But between relationships and people's relationship with their with themselves and their their social networks on these phones, man, I mean, these things are just so addictive, yet you can get a lot accomplished. It's just like TV, or like I don't even deal with regular TV anymore. I got Netflix, Hulu, and all these other all the devices are all talking to each other, just like I was saying for a long time. It's just like it just sucks. It makes you want to cry, it makes you want to go crawl under a rock to know that you're constantly being watched, analyzed, probed, studied, profiled. Then people are, then they develop strategies to better influence you through suggestion. I mean, it does feel like these machines they're so good at predicting. Like I don't speak out loud what I'm looking for, but it's almost like the machine somehow reading my thoughts and showing me on the TV, uh, what I was thinking about, even though I didn't, express it out verbally to where, you say there was the microphone, TV is listening and all that, and it's got a brain of its own, not the TV or this phone, but it's the system, you know what I'm saying, that this thing is logged into. This thing has a brain, it has a mind, or either that there's a teams of people that are constantly, uh what are the, remember the old, back in the day when they had telephones, the woman had to switch the different plugs, people like that. They're in there switching the plugs, man. I don't know what that exactly was called. It's like the phone freakers, you know what I'm saying? But uh between people in their relationships, between I mean that's they don't have the time to watch a 2 hour documentary. And I go to see my brother, love him to death. But 4 out of 5 times that I see him, that it's either video games has got him so captivated that he's not good for conversation, or he's so on the phone can't have a conversation, or it's like, sometimes people talk to me and I'm like, yeah, but I really didn't catch what they were saying. I was just acting as if I was engaged with them. But I don't like small talk, so it's, I get sucked out of situations like that pretty easy. But uh it's hard. I can't get no one to people don't want to train, they don't want to study, they don't want to hang out much because they're so in their own little worlds, man, that it cuts them off from everyone else. I mean, it's okay, I mean, if you want to, I guess, branch out and start like a little family circle for yourself between you and your woman, and all that, that's fine. But I notice, it's like, in the Bible it says if a man can abstain from fornication and not take a wife, it's even better, because this man can dedicate his time and his energies freely to things, and it's like, it sucks like when the only person around who's available for all these, like, I could do some things, but yet there's no opportunity, and then there's no one else to do it with. So it's easy to get discouraged, sidetracked, bump on the log for a minute, you know what I'm saying? Or just totally cut everyone out to where it's almost like you can't even function and communicate with people normally because you're so withdrawn, because no one's into what you're into. And since you're, it's like you got all this knowledge on all these subjects, but you're totally not even have a basic understanding. So we can't have no conversation there, and I can't do much small talk, and then you don't, it's just difficult right now with people. And I see it's a different kind of Willie lynching, through the love of self. We become Willie lynched and segregated and divided and conquered, you know, just already by default. So I see this common thing. I mean, yeah, I love it when my homies are having problems in their relationship, because it's like the dudes come out of that, like, since they've been used to constant company. So it's like, and they make up for lost time. So you guys go, have some fun, keep it safe and all that, do dude things, homie things. But keep it, as mature as possible, because it doesn't matter how old men are. It's like we still get those impulses like we were still teenagers. This is the way it is. I mean, at least from my perception. I feel everyone has multiple personalities. It's just some people are better at concealing it. You know what I'm saying? But when they're not in the public eye where they have to conceal it, it just comes off. The mask comes off. That's like the men who seem like your pillar of community, but then they go home. The shirt, the coat comes off. The t-shirt's on. The liquor bottle gets opened, and then the wife ends up, battered by morning. But yet they all put on that mask. You know what I'm saying? Of these personality switches. So I think everyone's kind of like, God, listen, whatever factors play, anger, depression. I mean, just your mood. You know, your stress levels. These things. It alters your personality anyway, dude. Fucking. So it's like no one's got a constant. that they fluctuate due to mood, circumstances. Then you can also take in other factors. Are you on any medications? Have you been dabbling in the drugs? You know what I'm saying? Are you on the juice right now as we're speaking? Or are you hungover? These, things like that. Or people coming out of bad relationships, they're all ate up. So they're all needy, or they're hostile because their hearts hurt, so they're guarding themselves overly. You know, it's just difficult, man. I mean, how could you get 10, 15 people to agree and work towards something when you can't even get two or three? It's hard to get two sometimes, or if three or four or five to all agree. I mean, it's best, to work in situations that are flexible, like true democracies are. You know what I'm saying? Where uh uh that everyone's got an equal vote and a say. You know what I'm saying? In the situation, but you're allowed to disagree if you must, and then just because we have certain minor petty disagreements about things, but as long as our base goals or whatever we're working together to achieve a goal as a team, even if we have petty differences, but we can put them aside and just stick to what our common cause is. You know what I'm saying? But it's hard, man, when there's just not a lot of participation out here with people. It's from my perception. But then again, I'm not out here, man, going to bars or hanging out in the hood all the time. It seems like every time I go anywhere, fucking some kind of trouble happens. I've just like dodged bullet after bullet after bullet this past year, and I just don't, I mean, I don't know if it's just a coincidence or some kind of fate, destiny that it's time for me to be tested. You know what I'm saying? Where just the monkey wrenches keep getting thrown in my situations, man, making it just difficult to operate. But yet I'm still, making the most out of it, even though it could be better. The circumstances were better, but I don't know, man. Just this video didn't just throwing this out here, man, just because it's been a minute. So I'll holla at you.